What's up, guys? I just realized my mic wasn't on as I was recording the last time, so I am now recording again. This is the Worlds patch, so this is the patch that Worlds will be played on. And this is just my reaction, my opinion. Feel free to put your opinions in the comments. I just play a lot. I know there's people that play more than me, but I play a lot of League of Legends, so I'm reading the patch notes. I'll be making another video specifically for Teamfight Tactics because I don't want to put them together. I'm a high diamond in League of Legends, and I'm silver in Teamfight Tactics. But even if I was like iron or whatever in both of them, I just enjoyed the stuff, and this is my reactions, my opinions. And this is the patch that Worlds we played on. So Aatrox, they made it so he'll do more damage to minions with his Q. This is really important. He'll more likely be higher chance of being played in Worlds because he'll have an easier time CSing now. Akali, they put a little more power back into her ultimate. It's super minor. She's less garbage with this, but I'll just give her a little bit of more early game assassin potential. Annie, I don't really like this change. I get it. I just don't like her moving fast towards me. It's really annoying. Like, I beat her, so I get why they're buffing her, but I just really hate having a really fast Annie just coming at you. So just a nice little buff for her, a little more movement speed on her E, a little lower cooldown, and late game it's going to be a lot lower cooldown. Back to where it used to be. Ashe, I really like this change. Her slow is going to be stronger early, and her Q is an auto attack reset. I've always used it as if it was an auto attack reset, so this is huge for me. Just get one more fast auto attack in. And that's slow to give your support and your jungle just more time to hit the enemy, as well as just more time to hit them before they can run back to their tower, or whatever it may be. Blitzcrank, I hate this. I know he's irrelevant, but I wish they didn't buff him. His grab now has almost a 10% increase in range, which is just huge. It's terrifying. I wish I didn't do this. And it's just... I wish I didn't do that. And his ulti now, you can stack up 3 marks. So if you're going like attack speed blitz, or somehow you manage 3 hits really fast, so let's say you Q, auto, E, auto or something before the first mark goes off. So now you get a little more damage on that. If you don't use your ultimate, you just use the passive. Or if you're going on hit Blitzcrank a lot of smooth or attack speed Blitzcrank, it'll be a little more powerful. So Fiora, I love this change. I love playing Fiora. I love my challenger Chinese people that play Fiora. I love playing with them, watching them. It's beautiful. This is a beautiful buff for her. Kind of scary at the same time. Her Q now works on towers and wards. So huge. So Sweeping Lens will be more popular in her because she can quickly clear a ward. And she can just split push a lot better because her E now works on turns. The crit works on turns. Huge buff. And I expect to see a bit more from her because now she can split push quite a bit better. Gragas, slight nerf to his W. He's not really relevant in most games, but slight nerf to Gragas because he is relevant in some games. Graves is getting a nice little buff. Graves is still a standard pick for some challenger people, and there's a slight buff, a little more damage, a little more health, just evening out the health and just evening out those numbers, plus giving 2 more AD. This is actually pretty big for him because now he can clear quite a bit faster. And it's minor, but it's there. It's a nice little buff. Heimerdinger. I wish they didn't do this buff. I know Heimerdinger is irrelevant, but I don't want him getting buffed. But they're buffing him. His Q, now, it might look like it says 30 to 35, but you think each turn. So this is like 50% more AP. Then his E has a longer stun, which is really big. And then his ulti also has the same AP buff. It's not too huge, but if you think about it, it's pretty big. Having that longer stun, so they're just stuck in your turns longer, and your teammates can whack them longer, and they just do more damage because of the higher AP ratio. So I wish they didn't do this buff, but he is now stronger and he's more likely to be relevant because of this. Karma, they just nerfed out of her Q, so her poke. I don't agree with this nerf. Her entire identity is poking the enemy really hard, shielding a little bit, but I don't agree with this nerf, but whatever. I don't play her, and if she's garbage, whatever. Mordekaiser, his W is now slightly faster to get the shield, and spectators now see combatants as Spooky Realm. Okay, so it's called the Spooky Realm now, instead of the Death Realm or the as appropriately spooky. Okay. Orianna got a slight buff. Her ultimate now does 50 more damage across the board, as well as a little bit more AP ratio. Yes, you don't see that much Orianna, but she's a really strong champ, and this is a really nice buff for her. Oftentimes, when I'm playing Orianna, the enemy would slightly get out, slightly survive, so this is a really nice buff for her. Yeah. Ornn now gets his item upgrades a level earlier, which is really big. And I expect to see slightly more Ornn. Ornn was already pretty popular with a lot of good players I know. So having it being one level sooner you can get the upgrades is pretty big. Pantheon. Slightly less damage for the Empower. It's minor. It's really minor. Basically, you'll just have a slightly easier time against him if you're a Magic champion, but super minor. The Unburrow. Oh! So this is a nice buff. So now Rek'Sai's Q actually does damage to the turn instead of just... So this is a really nice buff. 3 more armor, but I actually kind of want to play Rek'Sai at least a couple games. This is a nice little buff. Riven, I don't understand. So they're nerfing her Q by 1 second, and then they're buffing her E by 2 seconds. So you're going to have a Riven shielding at least twice in her fight. I don't like this at all. They're doing this for the skin, and they're doing this maybe for Worlds. Maybe they want to see Riven in Worlds, because... Okay. Sejuani, she's more garbage now. Her passive always does 10% of the target's maximum health, which is... I don't like this nerf. You don't really see Sejuani too much in most games, I know. Like, yeah, she's a staple pick for a lot of good players also, but I don't really like this nerf. I think her having a lot of damage on the passive was really nice. Sion's been pretty irrelevant, so they're giving him 20 more shielding on his shield. It's a minor buff, but it's going to be super important for him. Just 20, because that'll keep his shield up longer, and more likely he can get the blast off with the shield, which is really big. Silas, they just don't really want to see Silas. They nerfed his armor a bit, which will be really big for his jungle. They just don't want to see him 100% in Worlds, which makes sense because he is a very popular champion with good junglers, I know. His passive, so yes, technically on the main target, he's going to do slightly more damage, but secondary targets, he's going to do quite a bit less damage. To minions, it doesn't really affect, but it's more to champions this affects, which is pretty big. So I'll get less AoE superiority. Tam Kench, I wish they didn't nerf him. They kind of nerfed him a couple times, so he's been not relevant to me anymore because he's just slower, less of a super tank, which was good. Those, like, I get it, those are important nerfs. I don't get why they're nerfing him again. So they made it so early, his gray health is garbage. His gray health is just garbage. At the super late game, his gray health is actually pretty crazy for the healing, but you're probably not You're gonna use the shield, so it's not I can get healing. Twisted Fate, you don't really see him. The only time I've ever seen him is like with a Trinity Force and Kleptomancy for some reason. They're buffing him slightly, so he has 10% more attack speed from his E, and it also his E does 10 more damage. This is a nice little buff for him. I'm fine with it only because TF is irrelevant and it's kind of nice. It's kind of nice. Vayne got a slight buff on her attack damage she gets. Yes, she can be super powerful still because of her invisibility with her Q and the tumble dodge, and her W doing like 14% of the max health as true damage. But because she is just a single target champion, you're giving her a slight buff to make her a little more relevant. Viger, I think on the PBE it was more insane the buff they were going to do. They cut back. I think they were going to go to 10 seconds, which would have been ridiculous. That would have been like super high uptime on his E when he has 45% CDR. They cut back on that a little bit, so it's still really strong. I'm kind of tempted to play support Viger and max in E first. Yes, that's kind of stupid, but at the same time it's kind of fun. Fun is the most important thing, and just having a more spammable E is pretty cool. Xin Chao, normally, I don't know what other people do. I know I always upgrade W because that's where all the damage is, and it's just, yeah, I don't see why I wouldn't upgrade W, and then I'd go Q second normally. Now they're putting a little more strength into Q by having it at each level do a little more AD, a little more damage. It's not that big. At max rank, it's only, if you get all 3 hits, it's going to be like 36 more damage, so it's, and at level 2, it's going to be like 15 more damage. So it's super minor, but it's also pretty nice. And his passive heal, they buffed quite a bit. I like this buff. I think it's good for him, and he'll become a little more relevant with it. Yuumi, garbage. We're not even. Yuumi's garbage. If you're playing Yuumi, you're garbage. Zac is a little more better with his healing. Okay, so with Yuumi, I like playing Yuumi, but she's garbage. Let's be honest. Yes, she can win games because of her Athenes, and then that making a bigger heal and blah blah blah. She can't be hit. She's garbage though. Let's be honest here. Okay, so Zac, before it was like 4% of current health his ability would use, and then picking up Blob would be 4% max health. Now they're making it so it's a little stronger, so it's 5% up to 7%. Nice buff, more healing off of him. He's been a kind of weak, so I like this buff. And I'm kind of tempted to play a little more of Zac because of it. They remove the from these items. And just a bunch of bugs that have been fixed. I didn't really go through them. I don't really care. And then a bunch of new skins. Hextech and Mumu. Morgana. I like that Morgana skin. That's a nice. I like that Morgana skin. Nami skin, kind of nice. Riven. I don't like having the Rise, so I have Triumphant Rise because I did a lot of tournaments in the past and won a lot of them, so. I guess it's a nice skin. I'm fine with it, it's just that I have Triumphant Rise, so I'm kind of toxic towards the other skins. Yes, I own Uncle Sam Rise too, but that's fine. And then the Prestige skin goes to Valiant Sword Riven, which of course they buffed her, because well, gotta buff her if you're gonna have a skin for her. I mean, they didn't really need to buff her. I still would have wanted a skin, even if they didn't buff her. They could have just nerfed the Q a little bit, and that's it. But no, they had to buff the E too. And then some chromas. Okay, so let me know what you thought in the comments. And thanks for watching.